Time travel paradox, explained by Stephen Hawking. We've always wanted to turn the river of time around, if only for a moment, to correct the word left unsaid, to hold the hand we lost, to see what becomes of us. But the river doesn't turn easily. And Stephen Hawking, our stubborn, brilliant navigator of the cosmos, spent a lifetime asking, why? Hawking could be playful, but he was never careless. That question wasn't just a joke, it was a razor. If time travelers could roam freely, why didn't any of them drop by to tell us how it all ends? Why no postcards from 3024? He even threw a party but sent the invitations after it happened, so only visitors from the future could attend. No one came. The empty room became a tiny experiment, a human-sized proof of something he suspected. The past may be protected. Physics allows strange loops called closed time-like curves paths through space-time that bring you back to your own past. You'll find them hiding in some solutions to Einstein's equations, in rotating universes, in extreme cylinders that whirl near light speed, or in fanciful wormholes that bridge distant points of the cosmos. But Hawking looked at those temptations and offered a shield with a mischievous name. The Chronology Protection Conjecture, a cosmic police that keeps history safe from paradox. Hawking's claim wasn't that general relativity never permits shortcuts. It sometimes does. His claim was that when you try to push a time machine to the brink of paradox, the quantum world fights back. Vacuum fluctuations, exotic energy conditions. Instability, something erupts at the would-be first moment of time travel to slam the door and save causality. Like a universe that blushes and says no further. Hawking was clear. Time travel to the future is real, not sci-fi, but relativity. Race fast enough or live near strong gravity, and time runs slower for you. Leave, return, and you'll step into someone else's tomorrow. We've measured this with particles and with precise clocks. It's not a dream, it's physics. But this isn't a machine with knobs marked Paris. It's 1927. It's a one-way ticket carried by speed and gravity. Forward time travel, permitted. Backwards time travel. Hawking thought nature finds a way to stop it. The river flows differently in different places, yes, but never backwards on the big stage where paradox would wound reality. We want wormholes. We want a door to yesterday, not for science, but for mercy. Hawking knew the equations that whispered the word maybe, but he also knew the price tag. Exotic matter with negative energy, throats that collapse, quantum instabilities that roar to life exactly when you try to create a loop in time. The math tempts, the physics resists. Encyclopedia Britannica. Some physicists try a different answer. The Nabokov self-consistency principle. In that picture, if you somehow could go back, reality would bend instead of break events. Conspire so you can never create a paradox. Your gun jams. You slip on the stairs, fate winks. Hawking appreciated the elegance, but he preferred a universe that prevents such loops from forming at all. Guardrails, not tightropes. Scene 4, black holes, arrows, and Ashes. Hawking's most radical idea was NT, about time machines, but about black holes. They radiate slowly, evaporating like ice in sunlight. If that radiation is perfectly thermal, information seems to vanish, and physics hates that. Paradox again, but of a different kind. The information paradox, showing how fiercely reality protects its laws. This tension, gravity, quantum, causality, haunted him and lit a fire under everyone who followed. Was he wrong? Was he right? The conversation continues, from fuzzballs to firewalls, to weird islands in quantum gravity. But across every debate, one compass returns. Consistency. The universe, even when it startles us, refuses to contradict itself. People laugh at that party, but listen closely, and you'll hear the courage in it. Hawking turned a question that breaks hearts, can I go back? Into an experiment you could hold in your hands. He knew the weight of loss. He lived with a body that betrayed him, and a mind that would not yield. Still, he made room for wonder just in case someone opened the door. Maybe the traveler was always him rolling ahead of us, showing that even when the past is locked, the future is vast. Scene 6, why paradoxes hurt. And why Hawking heals paradoxes wound, because they point to our deepest griefs and guilts. We imagine going back to save a life, to undo a mistake, to spare a world from harm. We're not greedy for power, we're hungry for mercy. Hawking didn't mock that hunger. He answered it with a kind of cosmic kindness. The laws protect you not as punishment, but to keep reality whole. In his view, chronology protection is the universe's way of saying, you cannot break yourself to fix yourself. The past is written, meaning must be made forward. So the question becomes not, why can't I return? But what can I become starting now? Scene 7, set your clock for tomorrow. Hawking left us with a paradox we can live with. You can't revisit yesterday, but you can arrive in someone else's tomorrow by learning, by loving, by building things that outlast you. The only working time machine we possess is change, and change, mercifully, runs forward. Imagine you found a window to yesterday. A shimmering portal you could slip through, poised to whisper words you always wished you had said. Stephen Hawking knew how seductive that would feel, but he also knew such a window, if real, would tear at the fabric of our lives, our cause and effect, our why and what next. So he proposed something braver than closing the window himself. He argued that the universe closes it for us with quantum backlash astini, violent protests that erase any chance of breaking history. This is the essence of his chronology protection conjecture. Physicists whispered the equations to Hawking. Wormholes, Tipler cylinders, G-Del spacetimes. They beckoned him. But he replied with a soft moral. Even if you can write your own path in spacetime, you shouldn't. The rules of the universe quantum fields, vacuum energies, will remove the pen before you can change the ending. Scene 2. Hazardous matter and shattered time. The math also said you'd need exotic matter substance with negative energy to prop open a time loop throat. But exotic matter is speculative, possibly impossible. And even if it existed, Hawking believed the universe would not let you wield it to tamper with the past. Not because it's unkind. Because unkindness to causality is unkindness to everyone. He didn't want to block your hope. He wanted to shield history, to guard the fragile beauty of life's order. Because we all feel the ache to undo mistakes, but the universe whispers. Live forward, with the scars and soft edges, and make meaning out of them. Scene 3. Consistency or collapse. Worlds in the balance. Another physicist offered Novikov's solution that the past is so meticulously woven, nothing you do can change it. The gun misfires, the stairs creak, fate defers. Hawking found that poetic, but he didn't find it comforting. He preferred something simpler. Let's not make the loop at all, because paradoxes are not puzzles, they're wounds, bleeding reality dry. Scene 4. The paradox of mercy. Hawking never mocked that impulse. He lived with loss and cruelty from his body, and he knew that sometimes rewriting a life seems like the shortest thing to do. But he believed the universe protected the past because some things must remain sacred. We carry our grief forward, not backward, because healing grows in the future, not in undoing what was never meant to break. Scene 5. Late-night questions born in hope. Hawking wasn't a cynic. Late at night, he still hungered for that what-if. He just looked at the cosmos and answered softly, no. But look, here's what we can do. Chart a course forward. Build, love, forgive. Because time, he reminded us, is not a curse to be reversed, but a river to be steered. And we are its captains, emboldened by curiosity and by courage. Why it matters, your viewers will see that chronology protection is not a cold doctrine, it's a lifeguard, saving reality from drowning in contradictions. The emotional stakes are clear. Time travel isn't thrill, it's heartbreak. Hawking didn't kill your dream. He mourned with you, then guided you forward. The visuals: wormholes, collapsing, paralyzed heirloom shots. Humanoid flickers imbued the theory in human longing and gentle sorrow. Quick citations for accuracy: chronology protection conjecture, 1992. Quantum instabilities. Likely prevent closed time-like curves from forming. Exotic matter requirements. Vast research warns it's hypothetical, and even then likely unusable, to create stable time loops. Novikov's self-consistency principle. Paradox-proof loops, but Hawking preferred prevention. Human emotion. Hawking's sown words and party anecdotes show he saw both humor and heartbreak in time travel. Stephen Hawking once said, the laws of physics seemed to conspire to prevent time travel on a macroscopic scale. But what did he mean? Imagine the universe as a vast tapestry woven so delicately, so perfectly, that even the smallest thread pulled could unravel its beauty. Time travel, he argued, would be like taking a blade to that tapestry, trying to cut through and re-sew it to our liking. And the universe, it resists. He explained this through something he called chronology protection. It was his way of saying, the past is sacred. That if time machines could exist, they would open the door to paradoxes so destructive that nature itself must forbid them. Think of the grandfather paradox, a thought experiment, as haunting as it is simple. If you traveled back in time and prevented your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, you would erase your own existence. But if you never existed, who pulled the trigger? Who stepped into the time machine? This paradox isn't just philosophy, it's the raw wound of causality. A wound Hawking believed the universe would never allow to open. And yet, deep down, people want to believe. Because time travel is not about physics, it's about longing, about grief, about the unbearable wish to undo what has already been done. We've all had that moment. A moment when we whispered to ourselves, if only I could go back. Take one more walk with the person we lost. To fix the mistake that shattered our lives. To stop ourselves from saying words we can never take back. But Hawking stood as a kind of guardian at the gates of time, reminding us that this door may never be opened. Because if it was, it could tear apart everything we know. Stephen Hawking explored closed, time-like curves loops in space-time predicted by Einstein's theory of relativity. The equations whispered a tantalizing truth. Maybe time itself could bend so far that it touches its own beginning. But every time Hawking ran the numbers, a shadow appeared. Quantum effects, radiation, instability. As if the universe was whispering back, no, this path is forbidden. And so he offered us his famous thought, the Chronology Protection Conjecture. His poetic shield against chaos, his way of saying, the universe does not want paradoxes. It protects the arrow of time. That arrow, the arrow of time, it only points forward. From birth to death, from laughter to silence, from beginning to end. And though we may ache to turn it backward, to step once more into yesterday, Hawking told us, we cannot. Yet here's the paradox behind the paradox. Even as he denied us time travel, he gave us something even more profound. Truth that cuts deeper than science, deeper than theory. Time is precious precisely because it cannot be undone. Moments matter because they vanish. Every embrace is infinite because it only happens once. Stephen Hawking spent his life chasing the secrets of the universe. But in the end, what he left us was not just equations, not just theories. He left us a reminder of something heartbreakingly human. We don't need time machines to honor the past. We need memory. We need love. We need to cherish the seconds we still have before they slip away. Part 4. Time travel paradoxes often sound like puzzles for philosophers. But for Stephen Hawking, they were the cracks in the very foundation of reality. He believed that paradoxes are not just thought experiments, they are warnings. Signs that nature itself has set up barriers, like invisible fences, to stop us from tearing reality apart. Imagine you could go back in time and prevent your own grandparents from meeting. That single act erases your own existence. And yet, if you were never born, you could never go back to stop them. The loop collapses. Hey, this is the grandfather paradox, one of the most haunting riddles of time travel. But here's where Hawking's brilliance shines. He didn't just see this as a story problem. He saw it as a natural safeguard, a cosmic law that protects the integrity of the universe. Hawking proposed something called the Chronology Protection Conjecture, a poetic name for a brutal truth. Time travel to the past is impossible because the universe won't allow paradoxes. It's as if the laws of physics conspire against us, closing doors the moment we try to walk through them. But there's something deeper here, something emotional. Think of it. We humans crave the chance to go back, to undo mistakes, to bring back loved ones, to say the words we never said. Time travel is the ultimate dream of regret. But perhaps the universe says no, not because it's cruel, but because it's merciful. Because if we could constantly rewrite our lives, there would be no anchor, no identity, no meaning. Stephen Hawking knew what regret felt like. He lived with a body that betrayed him, yet a mind that soared across the universe. He once said, "I have noticed that even people who claim everything is predetermined, and that we can do nothing to change it, still look before they cross the road." It was his way of reminding us that even if the future is fixed, we live in the present, and the present is ours to shape. Paradoxes show us the limits of human desire. We want to control time, but time, in return, controls us. Hawking didn't fear paradoxes. He respected them. He treated them as cosmic teachers, reminding us of humility, reminding us that there are mysteries too dangerous to touch. And yet, even as he dismissed the possibility of going back, he left open the door to another dream. Traveling forward, the paradoxes slam shut the past, but the future? That remains a canvas. Now think about this. Maybe we can't go back to hug the people we lost. Maybe we can't undo the pain of history. But we can carry their memory forward. We can take the lessons, the scars, the wisdom, and send them ahead into a future that does not yet exist. Hawking believed that time was like a river. It cannot row against the current. But we can ride it, and perhaps even accelerate it, if we master the laws of physics. And isn't that what life is? A one-way journey? A current that never turns back? A reminder to love fiercely, to speak honestly, to live fully, because once this moment passes, it can never be retrieved. Hawking's paradoxes are not barriers meant to frustrate us. They are lessons, whispered by the universe itself. Cherish now, because now is the only time you will ever truly own. Stephen Hawking once said, "Remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist." In these words, there is something far more powerful than equations, more enduring than paradoxes. It is the recognition that though time may seem infinite, our lives are fleeting sparks in the cosmic darkness, and what we choose to do with those sparks, that is our real time travel. Because let's face it, the real paradox of time is not whether we can travel backward or forward. It is that we live every day knowing the future is unknown, yet we still hope, we still dream, we still love. Stephen Hawking was trapped in a body that refused to obey him. Every movement, every breath became a battle, but somehow transcended time, not through a machine, but through his mind. He lived longer than doctors ever believed possible. He stretched his life far beyond the limits of his illness. And in doing so, he proved something beautiful. That the human spirit is not bound by time or space, or even by the body itself. The paradoxes Hawking spoke of, the grandfather paradox, the closed time-like curves, the arrows of entropy, these are puzzles for physicists. But for us, they are reminders. Reminders that time is not something we own, it is something we borrow. We cannot return to yesterday. We cannot leap forward to tomorrow. But we can live today in a way that makes the passing of time meaningful. Hawking's warning about time travelers never showing up to his famous time traveler party may sound like a joke, but there is a truth hidden in it. Maybe no one came because the universe protects its timeline. Or maybe no one came because we are the time travelers. Every memory we carry from the past, every dream we cast into the future, that's time travel. Every parent who tells a story to their child is passing the past forward. Every tear we shed for someone we lost is a journey backward, if only in our hearts. And maybe that's why Stephen Hawking truly mattered. He reminded us that the greatest paradox is not whether we can travel through time, but that we already do. Every second of our lives, we are walking contradictions. Fragile, temporary beings who dare to ask eternal questions. We are tiny creatures on a pale blue dot, yet we dream of galaxies, wormholes, infinity. One day, our time will run out. That is inevitable. But until then, every moment, every breath, every connection we make becomes proof that time is not our prison. It is our canvas. And just like Hawking, we can choose to paint that canvas with courage, curiosity, and wonder. So, the next time you look at the stars, remember this: you are not just passing through time. Time is passing through you.